I've been clearing out some hurricane damaged property, my woods. I love my woods. So many downed trees everywhere. That blue tarp is the house, which is about 300 yards away. I only made it about 150 yards into my woods, and that took a while by myself. My little Amazon $130 25cc chainsaw. Love it. Worth every penny. It's just not a tough chainsaw. It's not a lifetime saw to where you're gonna buy this saw and 20 years later you're still gonna have it. No, its weak point is the bushings that hold the handle on. This is actually my second saw. The first saw, this bushing came loose. When that comes loose, the handle separates from the saw and tears the carburetor boot. This is a Zenoa 2500 clone, so parts are pretty cheap and easily available. But for $130 versus an Echo 271T, which is around $300. But the Echo is a quality saw, and that one will last you about 20 years. This one's probably good for a few years. Anyway, a lot of down trees. I slept here last night. This is a new Magellan Outdoors Talico 4 tent, and I have to say it's pretty nice. I mean, it's hard to be impressed with tents these days. They're pretty much all the same. I didn't think I would like it. I didn't think it would have good quality. I'm sleeping in this tent because I had a Coleman. It was I think the model was a 4P or something like that. Anyway, it was brand new. Bought it about 8 months ago on clearance at Walmart. And I set it up. I've been sleeping in it because my house has mold in it from the storm. It rained through the roof, and all my walls have to be stripped down. So I was sleeping in the tent. And first night it rained, it just poured through the tent. Tent filled up with water. I've contacted Coleman. Coleman offers a 1-year warranty. I sent them the date code on my tent, and I haven't heard back from Coleman. So odds are my tent probably sat on the shelf at Walmart for a year before it sold, and I don't have my receipt, so they're not going to do anything for me. So last night I cleared out this far. I decided to camp out in the tent. I believe it's 9 foot by 9 foot the footprint of it, and there's a lot of room in there. I sleep by myself in here. Lots of room. And last night was in the low 50s. I slept very, very comfortable. That's a summer sleeping bag. It's rated for 50 Fahrenheit. I don't like using thick ones because I usually wind up sweating in thick ones. Some of the cornets. That's all the walls to build my camp one day. It's 3 inches thick closed cell foam backed with aluminum. It's gonna make some nice insulated walls. Just cut down yesterday this big oak, the 18-inch diameter oak, 16-inch diameter, a money tree, which is actually, we call it money trees. It's a Chinese tallow. I hate those trees. They're invasive. They take over everything. That's what the leaves look like. Chinese tallow. They grow everywhere. They're just overpopulating, choking out the other trees down here. This is a rather large one. I usually don't let them get this big, but I've only been here 2 years. I've got some trees I've lost that are over 100 years old. You ain't getting them back. I got a tree, it's a 4.5 foot diameter trunk, 98 feet tall. It's down. Some nice cypress trees are down. There's another Chinese tallow. It's full of them. From here on out in the trail, I've got over a quarter mile of trail to go that way. And every 10 feet is a tree. So it's gonna take me quite a while though. That little cheap Amazon chainsaw was a must-have. It's good for like overhead stuff. It's like a 6-pound saw versus my other saws are 12 and 13 pounds. That's not as young as I used to be. I can't hold a 10-pound saw over my head for long. This little video doesn't do justice to the amount of damage and carnage we have down here. It'll take me a long time to clean up. This was a tree I cut down from last year. Hurricane Zeta was a small hurricane, knocked down a few trees, and it's blooming and trying to grow back. It was down to bare stump. We even set it on fire, and it's still thriving. You can't stop Mother Nature. My beer keg wood stove survived the storm. This is a deer tail. It's been here since February of this year, of 21. The tail's been in here. Keep the critters away from it while it dries out. It was the only deer we harvested from my property. A young buck. There's trees down everywhere. A lot of them, the limbs are broken off high. They're still hanging. The trees will be fun trees to cut. Very dangerous. I'm not a skilled arborist by any means. Another here. It's a big oak. It'll be very fun to figure out how to cut down safely. And there's another one behind it, but the branch fell. I wish this one would fall. Look at this tree. This tree like twisted and fell over. That's still pretty hard wood. It's dry. Another Chinese tallow. I grew up calling them money trees. Some people call them popcorn trees. They grow little seeds that look like kernels of like popcorn. I think the sap is actually poisonous, and the seeds have a film around it which is poisonous to animals. More trees that are just snapped and twisted. The further you go, the worse it gets. As far as you can down trees. But yeah, this is gonna be a future base camp. I'm gonna build a nice camp. I always wanted woods with a camp in it. I just wish it was further away from the house. That'd be nicer. Another suicide tree. It looks like it's barely holding on. It looks like it's got some rot in it. That one's gonna be fun as well. A few deer tracks. That's good news. They're still here. Some deer survived. Ida was a very strong Category 5. Strongest we've ever seen. It just devastated everything down here. It's like, I want to say almost 70 days after the storm, and people are still living in tents and in their cars. FEMA hasn't been a big help at all with housing. Usually FEMA gives out FEMA trailers, as campers, for like temporary living. FEMA's only issued out 500 in the parish I live in. And they have, I want to say 10,000 available, but they only issued 500. I mean, I know we can't rely on FEMA to take care of us. And there's some people who lost entire houses. FEMA gives them like $7,000. Some people who lost just a small shed, $19,000. That's crazy. I don't know how they do their system. I mean, I'm not one to complain, but that's something's wrong there. I mean, we're thankful for anything we can get down here. But when you've lost everything, FEMA gives you just a few thousand to rebuild your entire house, and your neighbor next to you had maybe $1,000 of damage, and he receives 20 or 40, even 40,000. I've heard cases of people getting $80,000. It's just crazy.